You've had people that we sadly missed along the way. You had the great Prince on your show.
I have a great Prince story. One time Prince is coming on the show and his manager calls and says, "Hey, Prince would love to play ping pong on the show." I go, "Okay, we'll get a ping pong table, no problem." So he comes on the show. We have never brings up ping pong, doesn't talk about it, never brings it up, doesn't even mention it. I go, whatever. He crushes. He's awesome. He's great. That's the end of that. And a month later, I'm at dinner and I get a text, and I go, it says "Hi, this is Prince's manager. Prince wants to meet you right now at a club called Spin in New York City. It's a nightclub. It's a ping pong nightclub."
Wow.
I go, "What?" So I go to my friend. I go, "I gotta go. Prince wants to play me in ping pong." So he goes, "What?" I go, "He wants to meet me on 23rd and 5th. I go, "I gotta go." So I get in a cab. I go to this place. I go down the steps, downstairs, and I go, "Hi, I'm here to see." And the girl goes, "Prince?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, he's in the private room back there behind the curtain." I go, "Okay." So I go in. I open this curtain, and who's standing there? But Prince in a double-breasted, like crushed velvet suit, and he's holding a ping pong paddle, and he goes, "You ready for this?" And I go, "Yeah, this is so surreal. There's no one else in the room, just me and Prince." So I go, "Oh, I guess." I go, he goes, "Do you want to warm up?" I go, "It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not even good at ping pong, but I'll play with you." And he's like, "Here we go." And so he serves, and he gets the point, and he goes, "One zip." I go, "Oh, we're going to talk smack? Here we go. Let's go, Prince. Let's go. Let's play." Now I'm, like, ready to play Prince. I'm like, "Let's go." So I'm trying to play back. I'm not good at ping pong. Long story long, he's crushing. So he's like, "Game point." I go, "Okay." And he hits this serve, and it's like, and it's one of those perfect ping pong things are spinning, flames are coming off the ball, and it's coming, and it hits that one corner of the ping pong table, you know, that's impossible to hit back. And he hits the thing, and he goes, I go, "Oh my gosh, you won, let me go." So I look over to pick up the ball, I come back, and he's gone. He's gone, and I go, and I don't know him that well, so I'm like, "Prince?" And then I go, "Is he hiding under the table?" So I'm like, "Prince?" Or is it was so weird. I go, and I walk out, and there's like a velvet rope, and it was kind of swinging back and forth a little bit. It's almost like Batman was there or something. And then Questlove, who's our band leader here, you know, from the Roots, heard about this ping pong game and took a cab over it, and he actually saw Prince's limo outside, and he went up to it, and he goes, "Wait, did you guys already play? What happened?" And Prince rolled his window down, and he goes, "Ask your boy." And then they just peeled off, and then I never saw him again. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I love that you're kind of in a ping pong basement like you're calling a dog. Just going, "Prince? Prince? Prince?"
I didn't know. I didn't know if he was hiding or whatever. It was bizarre.
When we heard about Richard, we were promised it was going to be like this, you know, really raunchy, sexy. And I was watching it. I thought, where is the sex? But my God, once you pull the ripcord, it's non-stop.
There's a bit.
I mean, even you must have been kind of, you know, at the table read, you must have been going, blah, 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 blah. I haven't spoken for pages.
Well, I got my mouth full half the time. Which I was insisting on, because I think that's important to see on TV as well, because
yes.
I think that is uncommon that you see that kind of power dynamic in raunchy scenes, and that's part of the way that we did want to modernise the show. So the Duke does have his mouth full, and he's proud of it. But yes, there was a fair bit to be done on the show.
Because you're really going for it, but you're going for it in kind of beautiful locations.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like...
And occasionally very uncomfortable locations.
Well, yeah, those library steps didn't look easy.
Yeah, the chiropractor.
But didn't you have room monitors in the stately homes?
Well, this is the problem, because the set, as usual, is more valuable than any of the actors. So if you're in, like, you know, a 200-year-old bed or a 400-year-old four-poster, it has to have a minder. Like, you know, when people kind of bring very expensive jewellery around, they have to have a bodyguard for it. There's a bodyguard for the room. And so at all times, you know, you got this minimal set, everyone gets very quiet, very respectful, and you derobe and you hit the bed. And then there's also just like Fran in the corner who's just standing there just kind of deciding whether or not to look. She's like, I have to look. I'm not allowed to look. I have to look. Could you please go easy on the bed? It's very, very old. It's not quite so enthusiastic. Oh, do go on. That's the inner monologue that I imagine is going on in the corner of the room.
Yeah, I'll stop them in a minute. And presumably you had to have the awkward kind of family conversation before.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we've got a family WhatsApp group, so there's a couple of, you know, flashing red light emojis and the odd peach emoji. Certain people have threatened to rate my peach. But we missed a couple of family members, and so people do enjoy the fact that, like, a couple of cousins missed the memo. And so they're watching the show, and I got a very stern message in my Instagram DMs, oddly enough, just going, there really needs to be a cousin warming. I had to make so many tactical cups of tea. And I left the room and made my tactical cup of tea and came back, and you were still going. So I had to start doing pots of tea. You know, you had to kind of keep building up the
three-course meal, a tasting menu, if you will.
But it's a proper Western. I mean, we see Tom Hanks gun-toting, which we rarely see.
Well, I don't wear one. I am given one later on, so it's not like, you know, I'm not doing the rootin' tootin' kind of thing. But I ride a horse. And I drive a wagon, and I've discovered. So I'm not a rider per se, but I did learn. I had got to know a fabulous horse named Wimpy, who was my horse. Wimpy was my horse, and I don't know if anybody here has ridden a lot or made a Western. Emily has a couple of Westerns under her belt, as I recall. Emily, my darling, how are you?
How are you?
So wonderful to see you.
It's good to see you.
Emily Blunt.
Do you know I'm about to do a Western? Like, next January, I'm doing a 6-part Western, and we were just discussing how allergic I am to horses, and I do every scene with a horse, you know. I'm going to be antihistamine up to my eyeballs.
Do you have to kiss the horse?
I do.
Is it that kind of relationship?
Isn't that what happens in Westerns? You make out with your horse?
You develop an affection for those beasts. I must say.
You and Wimpy were very close.
Every morning you throw your arms around Wimpy and say, "How are you, my darling little chestnut? I'm so nuts about you." Which you sort of have to do, because I have a feeling that horses, honestly, they would much rather live in a world without human beings climbing on top of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they know the moment you climb on their back that you're terrible at riding. Like, I mean, I've been learning right now. I'm in London now rehearsing for it, and I go riding 3 times a week, and every time they give me a different horse to see, you know, how you fare.
Oh.
With one that's more sprightly or one that's less of a Ferrari. And I got on one the other day called Rusty. My God, it almost took off with me. It was terrifying. I couldn't walk the next day. Rusty did me in.
Rusty did her in.
Rusty did me in.
You're in. Oh, wow. Is that the name of the film?
That's one of your films.
Let's spare thought for Emma Corrin. Because there are scenes, there are scenes in The Crown of Diana.
Which one?
Diana alone in that big ballroom where she's alone, doing her dancing. I know that she danced to Elton John and things.
Well, yes, in the series I danced to Elton John.
Oh, okay.
But when we were filming it, I remember Ben, the director, saying the day before, I do some ballet in that episode as well, very bad ballet. And I had some lessons for that. And he said, OK, at the end of the day, let's choreograph something for your, like... So basically, I meant to, like, lose myself and just, like, go mad and just dance in this space. And he said, let's choreograph something. And I said, is it OK if we don't? I'd just kind of like to feel it. And I could tell him thinking, oh, no. And then... And then I was like, and is it all right if I pick the song? And he was like, yeah, but obviously if it's not from the period, we can't use it. And I said, that's fine. I'm just going to pick a song and it's fine just for the day. And so I'm actually dancing to Cher, Do You Believe?
Oh!
Yeah.
Good trivia. When you're watching at home...
Put that on instead of the soundtrack. Don't do that.
No.
But I remember we
But it must have been... Was it mortifying, just having to go, OK, here we go. I'm dancing alone to Cher.
It was actually quite freeing. I quite liked it. I kind of just went for it, but I really went for it. And they just kind of, like, played the music on these huge speakers in this massive room. for like 3 minutes, and I danced the whole thing, and I really threw myself into it, and I was like going mad. I remember they called cut, and I like ended by like going down onto the floor. I think that's made it into the show. I remember there was silence, and everyone was like, wow.
A bit like tonight.
A bit like tonight, exactly. And then Ben just went, Emma, that was, wow, yeah, that was great. We're going to have to do it again, though, because you kept mouthing the lyric. Yeah, so into it.
Oh,
I know.
That's funny.
So I had to do it all over.
quite hard not to, actually.
I know.
You know how hard it is to be that mean to Harry Melling? He is like the sweetest individual in the world.
Because, yes, you played Harry, but his name's Harry Melling, and you, I mean, that was exciting for you to do a scene with Harry Melling.
Small bit? Like,
Yeah.
big bit? Yeah, it
Harry
was,
Melling,
it was
Harry
very
Melling was
exciting.
per Rihanna. Yeah. No, tell us why he meant so much to you.
Well, I learnt to speak English reading the Harry Potter books. So as lame as it sounds, those characters really were my first friends. So still a big fan of the Harry Potter franchise, love the movies. Oh my God, look at him.
He played Dudley Dursley. I mean, he's not an obvious one. Presumably people don't come up to him all the time.
He's still part of the universe.
And so what language were you speaking when you learnt to speak English through Harry Potter?
Spanish.
Oh, OK. And
Yeah, I'm Argentine.
so when did you come to London?
When I was 6, but I only learnt English when I was 8 because I was convinced that if I didn't speak the language, my parents would have to take me home. And that failed miserably. So, yeah, had to learn.
One of the things I found really moving in the book was the way you paid tribute to the achievements of your children. Was it Sam who helped you with a bit of online trolling?
With the virtual world, with the whole online thing. So my daughters do my Instagram, they do all my Instagram posts, and my son is there to kind of troubleshoot for me. And very early on in it, my daughter explained to me what FOMO meant, because that was my whole life. I was fear of missing out because I couldn't catch up with everybody. And so she taught me that. But then I got in trouble on Twitter. Somebody who said something nasty about Parkinson's, and I usually let that stuff just go by me. It doesn't happen that often, and when it does, I don't really care about it. But I wanted to answer this guy in some way. So my son said, just do this, do SMH. And I said, what do you mean SMH? He said, just trust me, do SMH. So I answered the guy back, SMH. And he answers me back, it's the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. You're the king of the internet. I apologize for anything I said to you, blah, 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 blah. And I said to my son, what the shit did you say? And he said, shaking my head.
This film sees you reunited with Lakeith Stanfield from Get Out. So, like, when you were out and about, people must have loved it, seeing the two of you together again.
Yeah, it was... We went to a bowling alley in Cleveland, because we shot in Cleveland. And then, like, people just coming up to Lakeith doing, like, flashing stuff and doing something. And I felt, oh, man... I thought it just happened to me. I felt less alone. I was like, oh, man, it happens to you as well. Oh, man, yeah, that's cool. But, like, I kind of sometimes just sit in the corner with my hat low and just pretend I don't exist to myself, though. You know what I mean? So, like, so I try to keep in the shadows and stuff. So.
Is it you, Rachel, who's watched it? How many? You've watched it a few times.
2 or 3 times, yeah.
We loved it so much, and I'm sure this is the point of the film, but we literally sat there going, Get out! Get out!
Get out of there!
You must get out!
Yeah, when I have conversations now, I have to say, leave.
And, like, that film did so well. I mean, it took hundreds of millions of dollars around the world. But is it true that you... I mean, why did this happen, that you didn't go to the premiere? You weren't invited to the premiere?
No, they didn't invite me, bro. They didn't invite me.
No, that can't be true.
On the Sundance World premiere, yeah, I was in Atlanta because I was shooting Panther. And then I was chilling, and I was like, I cleared my schedule. I was like, yo, I really wanted it. And then they just didn't get the invite, man. Just didn't get it. I wasn't invited. So I was just in my bed. Someone texted me, it's gone really well. I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's all right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the industry, Graham. Yeah, you know what I mean? This is the game.
Somebody fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean...
has this come up since then? Like, have you asked them about it?
No, you know, I don't ask questions. I just like, I get it, man. That's cool. Like, I'm very
cool.
good. I have nice beds.
Cool.
I would send a stern, left-handed note.
No, you don't want to be in a place that you don't feel wanted. You feel me?
But you mentioned Black Panther there, and Black Panther 2. Am I right in thinking that is now happening?
That's what the streets are saying, Graham. That's what the streets are saying. Yeah, Graham.
Okay.
Black Panther 2 is happening. You know what I mean?
Which will be very exciting, but also kind of tinged with terrible sadness, because of course Chadwick Boseman's no longer with us.
Yeah, man. It's I don't even understand how like we're gonna have to honor him, honor him and give as much to his legacy as much as he gave to us, because he gave us everything.
Yeah,
stayed here to give us everything, and like an incredible man, an incredible soul.
You play lots of instruments, but am I right? You've learnt a new instrument in lockdown.
Yes, I did. A couple of things. Yeah, I learned a couple of instruments. I sort of really got to grips with the didgeridoo, and
Are you serious? Do you own a didgeridoo?
I owned a didgeridoo, and I got a lot of complaints actually from neighbours. People thought there was a swarm of bees, but I actually also I've been teaching myself this instrument here, which is it's something I've wanted to play for a long time. I play it occasionally, but it's a mandola, and it's like a mandolin, but it's a deeper sound. It makes a lovely sort of like a deeper sound. I'll give you a little.
Oh yeah.
I'll give you a demo.
Oh yeah.
I've been practicing with an Irish reel, so I don't know if you this brings back any memories. I'll start.
Yes, it'll be on our feet. Something like that.
Oh, my dad would have loved you. You'd have got right through the door.
Oh, really?